Hey everybody, it's Randy here. Came up with this really cool gating drum thing that doesn't use gates and it doesn't use multiband compressors to get rid of your cymbal bleed. And I wanted to show that to you, and it's by using phase. Um, Real quick, so I've got this snare drum, lots and lots of cymbal bleed. And yeah, my goal is to minimize that as much as possible. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to EQ it however I want it, like how I want the snare to sound, right? So let's see, we're going to cut out up to about 100 hertz. We're going to boost 200 hertz, a pretty wide band. Nothing too crazy. Probably going to cut somewhere around 1K. And then the snap of the snare somewhere around 4K. In this case, it's around 2K. Make that pretty wide too. And then I got a ring. I'm going to cut that ring out. Okay. Overall, if you just listen to the snare drum, not the cymbals that are bleeding into it, it's better than where it was. What's the before and after? Bring that down just a little bit. I want it to snap through the mix though, right? So, you get your snare drum kind of where you want it. The brightness of it, right? We're going to duplicate this. You want to duplicate everything, even the plugins. Boop. You're going to move your EQ plugin down. Boop. And then we're going to add a digital compressor. And you want a digital compressor because digital compressors are fast. And in this case, I'm going to show you the stock version, if I can find it real quick. This is the problem when you have too many plugins. It gets to the point where it's almost impossible to find plugins. Ah, here we go. All right, you want the fastest attack, fastest release, and you want to crank the ratio. So it's basically a limiter. We'll listen to that. Bring this down. Like, it's going so quick that you can't even see the bar. The bar can't even keep up with it. You can see it here. Okay. Without the compressor, hear how that snaps there? With the compressor. Now the snap's gone. After that, we're going to bring in another stock EQ, if I can find it. I'm just using stock just so I can show you can do it with any plugins here. It doesn't have to be like some special plugin. Here it is. This is the Pro Tools stock plugin. You're going to turn on your high pass filter. You're going to crank up the frequency to about 1K, and you're going to crank up the curve. Let's listen to that. All that cymbal bleed. Pull it back. Just right before I start hearing the low end of the snare drum. Now, the biggest and most important thing, we're going to flip the phase. Boop. Don't hear anything, right? But in context with our real snare, watch what happens. With, without. So the snare drum can still ring out because those lower frequencies of the snare drum, which where the ring is, doesn't get phased out because we killed out all the low end. The only thing that's being phased out is the high end. But why isn't the snare drum being phased out with it? Well, that's because we compressed the crap out of the transient of the snare. So this basically ducks, lets the snare come through and then comes back up and then cuts out all the cymbal. And it does it in such a way that it just sounds super clean. And you can do this with toms, which these toms could probably use it too if we listen to these toms real quick. Oh yeah, tons of cymbal bleed, right? Let's come over here to where there's some toms. So same thing. We want to EQ our tom the way we want, right? So I always cut about, 75 hertz worth. You don't need all that super low. Low. The resonance on this tom seems to be about around 100. And then we're going to cut all that mid information. Yeah. But then I want like the attack. Oh yeah. All right, I'm just going to duplicate that over to this other tom too. And then just kind of make an adjustment real quick. Okay. Resonant frequency on this one's about, actually it's lower. It's like, I'm not going to cut as much. Good enough. Just to get the point across here. Same thing. We're going to duplicate. We'll duplicate both, actually, since we know what we're doing now. Don't mind that. That's my wife doing dishes in the background. We'll put that there. All right. Move. Toms down. I'm going to copy this. Plugins over here from the other one. And then I'm just going to hit play and just see what happens. Okay, I'm hearing distortion. Probably because we're hitting too hard. Yeah. Okay, without. Now this one I can still hear it a lot. So what I might try to do is bring that high pass filter because that China seems to have a little bit more low end information into it. Then you can blend these two together into one separate track, and then you can EQ those separately. But now you have less cymbal bleed that you're dealing with, and you can really bring out the high end of your transient from that point, So yeah, so snare drum. All together with the whole drum kit. Probably even turn the toms down a little bit. Without Hear how the cymbals just come out and get uncontrolled? Yeah, so I mean, this is how you control the cymbals in your drum mix, you know, without having to use gates. You can phase it out, and it sounds more cleaner, in my opinion. Yeah, let me know if this helps you.